A warm welcome and thank you for joining the Winning Paths podcast family. We wanted to take a moment to express our sincere gratitude for your unwavering support and enthusiasm for the Winning Paths podcast. Your subscription means the world to us, and we're thrilled to have you on this archery journey with us. At Winning Paths, which is a part of TFAM, the Irish Field Archery Monthly, we are not just another audio channel, but a community of passionate archery enthusiasts, brought together by our shared love for this ancient and captivating sport. Whether you're a seasoned archer or just starting, our podcast is designed to cater to your interests. Explore the depths of archery's rich history with our insightful monologues that delve into fascinating historical topics. From ancient archers to modern-day legends, we aim to provide you with a well-rounded understanding of the sport's evolution. Our interviews feature unique figures in the archery community, sharing their experiences, insights, and invaluable advice. Additionally, our hosts are not afraid to express interesting and sometimes controversial opinions, sparking thoughtful discussions within our community. Expect book and gear reviews that help you stay updated on the latest trends and advancements. We also bring you interesting and lesser-known facts about archery, ensuring that every episode is a treasure trove of information for our subscribers. If you're enjoying the Winning Paths podcast, why not spread the word? Encourage your fellow archery enthusiasts to join our growing community. Together, we can create a hub for all things archery, a place where passion meets knowledge and every arrow finds its winning path.
Hello archers and history buffs, it's me again, your today's guide Marcin. Welcome to Winning Paths, the only podcast where archery isn't just a sport, but a portal through time, a dance of precision and power, and occasionally a spectacular way to ruin a perfectly good apple. In our grand premiere of a new series, Horseback Heroes, we saddle up with history's ultimate band of mobile marksmen, the Mongol archers. These were not your average weekend hobbyists. These were the sharpshooters who, mounted on their steeds, turned Eurasia into their playground, all while reshaping the very fabric of the medieval world. Under the expansive sky of the Central Asian steppes, with nothing but a bow, a horse, and a dream, the Mongols, led by the legendary Genghis Khan, crafted an empire that stretched from the Pacific to the heart of Europe. Imagine managing that without GPS or Google Maps. Our journey will delve into the artistry behind the Mongols' archery, a skill so refined it could almost be considered performance art if it weren't so deadly. But it's not all about the past. As we explore the sinew and wood that propelled the Mongols to glory, we'll also draw a bowstring through time, connecting ancient tactics with modern-day sportsmanship and perhaps learning a thing or two about resilience, strategy, and the universal quest for perfection. So, if you're ready to embark on a historical odyssey that's part documentary, part archery clinic, and part time-traveling adventure, with more than a few puns strung along the way, then Winning Paths is the podcast for you. Let's knock an arrow to the bow of curiosity and let fly through the annals of archery history. Who knows? By the end, you might just be inspired to take up the bow yourself, or, at the very least, gain a new appreciation for the phrase straight as an arrow. Throughout history, few have left as indelible a mark as the Mongols. Emerging from the steppes of Central Asia, their story is one of resilience, strategic genius, and an unparalleled mastery of mounted archery that would reshape the world. This narrative begins in the vast, unforgiving landscapes of Mongolia, where the genesis of the Mongol Empire, under the leadership of Genghis Khan, laid the foundation for what would become the largest contiguous land empire in history. To understand the rise of the Mongols, one must first comprehend the environment that forged them. The Mongolian Plateau, a vast expanse of grasslands, mountains, and desert, is a region of extreme temperatures, where the blistering heat of summer swiftly gives way to the piercing cold of winter. It is a land that demands resilience and adaptability from those who call it home. The nomadic tribes of Mongolia were shaped by this environment, their lives a perpetual cycle of movement in search of grazing for their animals. The Mongol society was inherently nomadic, their survival dependent on the herds of horses, sheep, goats, and camels they raised. The horse, in particular, held a place of paramount importance, serving not just as a means of transport, but as a companion in the harsh steppes. The bond between a Mongol and their horse was profound, cultivated from an early age, as children learned to ride even before they could walk. This deep connection to their horses would later become a cornerstone of their military might. Prior to the rise of Genghis Khan, the Mongol tribes were fragmented, often embroiled in internecine conflicts. It was a world of perpetual strife, where alliances were fleeting and survival was the only law that governed the land. It was into this world that Temujin, later known as Genghis Khan, was born. His early life, marked by hardship and betrayal, could have confined him to obscurity. Instead, it forged him into one of history's greatest leaders. Through a combination of military genius, sheer will, and an unparalleled ability to unite the Mongol tribes under a single banner, Temujin began his ascent. His leadership style was revolutionary for its time, emphasizing meritocracy over traditional tribal allegiances. He rewarded loyalty and skill, creating a cohesive, formidable force from the disparate tribes of the steppes. One of his most significant reforms was the decimal military system, which organized his warriors into units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000. This system not only facilitated efficient command and control, but also fostered unity and loyalty among his troops, breaking down tribal divisions. The Mongol army, under Genghis Khan, was a marvel of its age. At its core were the mounted archers, warriors who could unleash a deadly volley of arrows with pinpoint accuracy while galloping at full speed. Their training began in childhood, mastering both the bow and equestrian skills until the two were as natural as breathing. The composite bow, a technological marvel made from wood, horn, and sinew, was their weapon of choice. Its design allowed for a compact size that did not compromise on power or range, making it ideal for use on horseback. With his army meticulously organized and fiercely loyal, Genghis Khan embarked on a series of military campaigns that would forever change the map of the world. From the conquest of the Xixia and Jin dynasties in China to the subjugation of Central Asia and beyond, his campaigns were characterized by swift movements, strategic brilliance, and a level of brutality that was both feared and respected. The Mongols' use of psychological warfare, such as spreading terror to demoralize enemy populations, was as much a weapon as their bows. The impact of the Mongol conquests extended far beyond the expansion of their empire. They facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures across the vast expanse of Eurasia. The Silk Road, under Mongol control, became a vibrant artery of trade that connected the East and West as never before. Technologies, religions, and knowledge flowed freely, contributing to the development of a more interconnected world. The heart of Mongol mounted archery was the composite bow, a marvel of ancient engineering. Crafted from a combination of wood, horn, and sinew, this bow was designed to store a tremendous amount of energy, allowing for a shorter bow length without sacrificing power or accuracy. This compact size was crucial, enabling the archer to maneuver and shoot while mounted on a moving horse. The creation of a composite bow was a laborious process, often taking months or even years, as the materials were carefully selected, shaped, and bound together using natural glues. The result was a weapon capable of launching arrows over 200 meters, with enough force to penetrate contemporary armor. The Mongols began their training in archery and horsemanship from a tender age, laying the foundation for their future as mounted archers. This early start was critical, as the skills required for effective mounted archery were complex and multifaceted. A Mongol warrior had to be able to control his horse with his legs alone, leaving his hands free to handle the bow. This intimate coordination between rider and horse allowed the Mongol archer to shoot in any direction, even backwards, in the famous maneuver known as the Parthian shot. Mastery of the bow was not merely a matter of physical ability, but also one of psychological preparedness. The Mongols practiced a shooting technique known as loosing at the right moment, which was akin to a meditative state. This involved releasing the arrow at the exact moment the horse's hooves were all off the ground, minimizing the impact of the horse's movements on the archer's aim. Achieving such synchronicity required years of practice and an almost spiritual bond between the horse and its rider. The Mongol use of mounted archery in warfare was not just about individual skill, It was integrated into a broader tactical framework that maximized mobility, speed, and surprise. Mongol military tactics were highly adaptable, depending on the situation and the enemy they faced. However, a common tactic was the feigned retreat, where the Mongols would simulate a disorderly withdrawal to lure their enemies into breaking formation and pursuing them. Once the enemy was stretched out and vulnerable, the Mongols would turn and unleash a devastating barrage of arrows, often leading to a rout. This ability to strike at will from a distance without engaging in hand-to-hand combat gave the Mongols a significant advantage. It allowed them to inflict heavy casualties on their enemies while minimizing their own losses. Moreover, the psychological impact of a relentless, unseen threat demoralized their opponents, often leading to surrenders without the need for further bloodshed. The Mongol mastery of mounted archery transformed the art of war. It challenged the conventional warfare tactics of the time, which were heavily reliant on infantry and siege warfare. The mobility and flexibility of the Mongol forces made them a formidable opponent, capable of rapid movements across vast distances, striking where least expected. Their success on the battlefield also prompted a re-evaluation of military tactics and strategies in the regions they conquered. For instance, in Europe, where heavy cavalry had dominated, the Mongol invasions highlighted the need for greater mobility and the use of long-range weapons. This eventually led to changes in military organization and tactics, influencing the development of warfare in the subsequent centuries. Beyond its military implications, the art of mounted archery became a symbol of Mongol identity and pride. It was a tradition that transcended the battlefield, deeply ingrained in their culture and way of life. The skills and values associated with mounted archery, bravery, precision, harmony with nature, were celebrated in Mongol society, passed down through generations long after the empire itself had faded from power. The Mongol Empire's expansion and the effectiveness of their siege techniques highlight their adaptability and innovation in warfare, leveraging both traditional and captured technologies to overcome fortified positions. During their sieges, the Mongols utilized a combination of gunpowder weapons, including small handheld cannons and bombs filled with materials like Greek fire, sulfur gas, or shrapnel, which were hurled over city walls. These early forms of explosives were complemented by rockets, triple-firing crossbows, and large catapults, showcasing the Mongols' integration of enemy tactics and local expertise into their military strategy. One notable siege was the Mongol assault on the Jin dynasty capital of Kaifeng in 1232-1233. The defenders employed thunder bombs, iron vessels filled with gunpowder, launched from catapults that either caused devastating explosions or hurled dangerous debris at attackers. The Jin also utilized cannon, demonstrating the sophistication of their defenses. However, the Mongols, under the command of Sube'etei and bolstered by reinforcements from the Song dynasty, eventually overwhelmed Kaifeng through a combination of superior tactics, including the use of gunpowder weapons and the debilitating effects of famine and disease within the city. Furthermore, Mongol warfare tactics were not limited to the battlefield. Preparation and intelligence played crucial roles, with spies gathering detailed information on enemy strength, weaknesses, and potential allies. Their strategy, in addition to that mentioned above, feigned retreat, often involved the Tulugma maneuver, which aimed to envelop and surround enemy forces. The Tulugma maneuver, a cornerstone of Mongol military strategy, underscored their unparalleled battlefield ingenuity and tactical adaptability. This maneuver, emblematic of Mongol warfare, allowed them to engage enemies with a precision and coordination that often left opposing forces bewildered and overwhelmed. Historically documented for its effectiveness, the Tulugma involved a multifaceted approach to encirclement and engagement, deploying a central body of cavalry, which included a mix of heavy cavalry at the front to absorb and inflict initial damage, and lighter, more agile units behind. The Mongols could pierce through enemy lines with devastating impact. Meanwhile, the maneuver's brilliance was further highlighted as cavalry units on the wings executed wide arcs, enveloping enemy forces in a pincer movement that was both swift and disorienting. What made the Tulugma particularly fearsome was not just the physical encirclement of the adversary, but the psychological impact it had on them. Opposing soldiers, finding themselves surrounded with no clear avenue for retreat, often fell into chaos and disarray. The Mongols, exploiting this confusion, would then use their reserve of heavy cavalry to deliver a crushing blow, decisively breaking the enemy's will to fight. This strategy, deeply rooted in the Mongol tradition of Nerj, or the royal hunt, was not merely a tactic, but a reflection of their deep understanding of terrain, mobility, and psychological warfare. The Nerj, which simulated the encirclement and gradual tightening around prey, was repurposed on the battlefield with deadly efficiency, showcasing the Mongols' ability to adapt traditional practices into successful military strategies. The Tulugma maneuver, therefore, stands as a testament to the Mongol military's strategic depth and their mastery of mounted warfare. Through its execution, they demonstrated not only their tactical genius, but also their ability to innovate and adapt, principles that underpin the vast expansion and enduring legacy of the Mongol Empire. These tactics underscore the Mongol Empire's innovative approach to warfare, combining intelligence, speed, psychological warfare, and technological adoption to expand their dominion across Eurasia. The scope of Mongol conquests is breathtaking in its expanse. Starting with the subjugation of the Xixia and Jin dynasties in China, the Mongols under Genghis Khan laid the foundation for an empire that would eventually encompass the vast majority of the Eurasian continent. After Genghis Khan's death, his successors continued to expand the empire's borders, with notable campaigns in Central Asia, the Middle East, and even Europe. In Central Asia, the Mongols dismantled the Khwarezmian Empire with ruthless efficiency, pushing through Iran, Afghanistan, and into the Punjab. The Middle East saw the Mongols topple the Abbasid Caliphate with the sack of Baghdad in 1258, a blow from which the Islamic Golden Age never fully recovered. Perhaps most startling to the contemporary world was the Mongol incursion into Europe. The Mongols penetrated as far west as Hungary and Poland, sending shockwaves through European kingdoms unaccustomed to facing an adversary of such mobility and ferocity. The Mongol conquests did more than redraw the map of the world. They reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the medieval era. The establishment of the Mongol Empire facilitated unprecedented levels of cultural and commercial exchange across Eurasia. The Pax Mongolica, or Mongol Peace, allowed for the relatively safe passage of goods and ideas along the Silk Road, connecting the East and West in ways that had not been possible for centuries. The conquests also had a profound impact on the peoples and territories subjugated by the Mongols. In some regions, the Mongol rule was marked by tolerance and a degree of cultural exchange, in others, by devastation and population displacement. The legacy of these conquests is complex, woven into the fabric of the histories of countless communities and nations. The Mongol Empire eventually fractured into several khanates, each going its own way. The vast distances, coupled with the challenges of administering such a diverse array of peoples and territories, contributed to the gradual decline of Mongol power. Yet, even as the empire receded from its zenith, the legacy of the Mongol conquests continued to shape the course of world history. The Mongol mounted archers, the harbingers of the empire's rise, left an indelible mark on the art of warfare. Their tactics and strategies were studied and emulated by future generations, influencing military thought and practice in numerous cultures. Moreover, the Mongol invasions catalyzed changes within the societies they touched, prompting adaptations and evolutions that resonated through the ages. As the dust settled on the vast expanses conquered by the Mongol hordes, the world had irreversibly changed. The Mongol Empire, at its zenith, had redrawn the maps, reshaped trade routes, and mingled cultures in unprecedented ways. The legacy of the Mongol archers, the vanguard of this empire's expansion, extends far beyond their military achievements, influencing the course of history, culture, and even warfare itself. The Mongol Empire's legacy is multifaceted, with its impact still felt in various spheres of life across Eurasia. One of the most significant legacies was the establishment of the Pax Mongolica, a period marked by peace across the vast Mongol Empire, which facilitated trade and cultural exchanges across Asia and Europe. This era of relative stability allowed for the Silk Road to flourish, connecting the East and West like never before. Goods, technologies, and ideas were exchanged with unprecedented freedom, contributing to the spread of innovations such as papermaking and gunpowder to the West. The Mongols were instrumental in the exchange of knowledge and culture between the East and West. They valued scholars, artisans, and craftsmen, often sparing them during conquests and relocating them to other parts of the empire where their skills could be utilized. This led to a remarkable cross-pollination of ideas, from astronomy and medicine to art and literature. The works of Persian scientists, Chinese engineers, and Arab mathematicians found new audiences, enriching the intellectual landscapes of the various regions under Mongol influence. The Mongol archers' prowess and tactics had a lasting impact on military strategies around the world. Their use of speed, mobility, and psychological warfare was studied by future military leaders, influencing the development of cavalry tactics in Europe and beyond. The concept of highly mobile forces that could strike swiftly and from a distance would resonate through the ages, influencing the tactics of various military campaigns and the development of the concept of blitzkrieg in the 20th century. The conquests of the Mongols also had a profound impact on the political geography of Eurasia. They were responsible for the destruction of several powerful dynasties and empires, such as the Khwarezmian Empire and the Song dynasty, leading to significant shifts in power dynamics within these regions. In their place, new states and khanates emerged, many of which would play crucial roles in the history of their respective regions. Furthermore, the redrawing of boundaries and establishment of new trade routes, facilitated by Mongol governance, would have long-lasting effects on the economic development of these areas. The Mongol Empire's legal and administrative practices also left a significant legacy. The Yasa, the legal code instituted by Genghis Khan, sought to impose order and discipline within the diverse empire. While much of the Yasa remains shrouded in mystery, it is known to have covered a wide range of subjects, from military discipline to theft and environmental protection. The administrative innovations of the Mongols, including the use of relay stations and the yam system for communication across vast distances, were crucial for managing their sprawling empire and would influence administrative practices in later empires. The Mongol Empire was remarkable for its religious tolerance. In an age when religious persecution was commonplace, the Mongols allowed their subjects to practice their religions freely, as long as they paid tribute and did not rebel. This policy not only helped maintain peace within their vast empire, but also facilitated the exchange of religious ideas and practices. The Mongols themselves were influenced by the religions of the lands they conquered, with some leaders converting to Islam, Buddhism, or Christianity, further contributing to the religious syncretism of the empire. Some historians argue that the Mongol Empire played a role in setting the stage for the European Renaissance. By reconnecting Europe with Asia, the Mongols revitalized trade routes that had been dormant during the preceding centuries. The influx of knowledge, goods, and technologies from the East, including classical Greek and Roman works preserved by the Islamic world, contributed to the flowering of art, science, and culture in Europe. As we wrap up today's journey with the Mongol archers, a tale of resilience, strategy, and equestrian mastery, we can't help but marvel at how they turned the art of archery into an empire-building machine. Quite the feat considering their humble beginnings as nomadic tribes. Now, if only we could manage our daily tasks with the same efficiency and precision. Imagine tackling your laundry with the strategic genius of Genghis Khan, or navigating rush-hour traffic with the coordinated prowess of a Mongol cavalry. While we may not be conquering empires, we can certainly conquer our to-do lists with a bit of Mongol-inspired flair. So, until next time, keep your bows strung and your arrows ready, because you never know when life will require you to channel your inner Mongol archer. Just remember, try not to actually launch any arrows at your problems. It's metaphorical, folks.